Okay, so basically you're feeding a part of the output to the input. Okay, so this is with respect to amplifiers. So generally what feedback means is, like, if you don't understand what I teach, definitely you should come and give me a feedback telling you're not understanding what I'm teaching. That's a feedback, right? If you're not doing well in this subject, then I should definitely come and give you a feedback telling, no, you're not performing well. It's high time you go and study, right? That is a feedback. So similarly, we are going to represent this in amplifiers as well. So there are two types of feedback, right? So you know about it. So the feedback is, an amplifier is said to have a feedback when a part of the output signal is fed back to the input. So there are two types of feedbacks. One is the positive feedback and the other one is the negative feedback. So which one is better for an amplifier to operate linearly, correctly, efficiently? We have seen in op-amps, right? Definitely we'll give a negative feedback so that it operates correctly. Just like if you don't understand what I'm teaching, you'll come and tell me, ma'am, no, you're not teaching well, we are not able to understand. So therefore, you please teach us so that we can understand. So that's a negative feedback. So basically, I'll have to correct myself, right? Similarly, if you're not doing well, then I'll come to the class and tell you you're not doing well, you have to correct yourself. So basically, that's a negative feedback. So that will help you correct yourself and operate efficiently. So how do we represent that in terms of amplifiers here? So you will have an amplifier here. So you're giving a signal, input signal to the amplifier. Let's call this Vs. So let's call this Vi. So when you give an input signal Vi to the amplifier, you get an output V0 equal to A times Vi. Let's say the open loop gain of this amplifier is A. So then you take a part of the signal, as in you will have a feedback path with a feedback factor beta, where this beta is less than 1 or equal to 1, because you're feeding a part of your output signal to the input, right? And now, suppose you feed the signal in opposition with the input signal, then you say you're giving a negative feedback, right? So if you feed this signal in the with the same phase as that of the input signal, so when I have a negative here, when I feed it in opposition with the input signal, then this is a negative feedback, right? Similarly, if I feed this in the same phase as that of the input signal, then I say it's a positive feedback. So what happens if you give a positive feedback here? This amplifier saturates, right? So it will no more behave like an amplifier and it will behave like a switch basically. It will saturate at 1 voltage. So it will not behave as expected, correct? But when you give a negative feedback, so this will behave linearly like how we expect it to behave, an amplifier with a negative feedback, right? So now, so far we have seen the open loop, how does an op-amp behave in the open loop, as well as how does an op-amp behave with a negative feedback. So now we'll try to generalize it. Let us say this is an voltage amplifier, right? Because you're giving input here as Vs and you're taking an output voltage V0. Since both the input as well as the output or voltages, we call this as a voltage amplifier. So now you know that V0 is equal to A times Vi. Now we'll have to find out what is V0 with respect to Vs. What is the gain, the closed loop gain we say. So this V0 by Vs is called as the closed loop gain, that is the gain of the amplifier with feedback. Okay, now we'll have to find out what is the gain AF here. We know that the gain V0 by Vi is nothing but the gain of the amplifier, which is A. Now we'll have to find out what is AF in terms of A when with this negative feedback. Let's try to do it. So now we'll have to find out V0 by Vs. So here you can see that Vi is equal to Vs. So let me call this feedback voltage as Vf. Okay, let me call this feedback voltage as Vf. So therefore I can write Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf. Correct? This voltage Vi is nothing but Vs minus Vf because it's a negative feedback. So you will have a minus sign here. What is Vf? Can you tell me what's Vf in terms of V0? So you're giving a part of the output voltage, as in you're multiplying V0 by beta. So that's why I can say Vf is equal to beta times V0, where beta is most of the times beta is less than 1. Except for some circuits like voltage follower where you directly feed the output to the input. For most of the circuits, this feedback is less than 1. So I can say Vf is equal to beta times V0. So I also know V0 is equal to A times Vi, where Vi is the input voltage to this amplifier. So now let me substitute this back here. So with this, I can write V0 is equal to A times Vi. I can write this as Vs minus Vf. Correct? So V0 is equal to A times Vs. Vf is beta V0. So minus beta V0. So if I take this on the other side, I can write V0 into 1 plus A beta. Sorry. Is equal to A times Vs. So therefore I can write V0 by Vs is equal to A by 1 plus A beta. Is this clear? So what does this mean? If the open loop gain of the amplifier is A, then the closed loop gain, when you close the loop of it with the feedback factor beta, then the gain of the closed loop amplifier, which is AF, decreases by a factor 1 plus A beta. Right here, the closed loop gain is decreasing by a factor 1 plus A beta with respect to the open loop gain. Right? Are you all able to follow this? The same thing happened even in op-amp, right? So you had an op-amp with a very, very high open loop gain. As soon as you feed it back with some resistors, give a negative feedback to it with some resistors, its gain decreases, right? It decreases to whatever, it decreases based on the resistors that you connect. So I think you can relate. So you have an op-amp. So now here you have Vin. So you build a closed loop amplifier here with R1 and R2. So the open loop gain of the op-amp is very, very high practically. But when you give a negative feedback to it, the gain now V naught by V in with feedback almost becomes equal to 1 plus R2 by R1, which is very much less than the open loop gain of the op-amp. Right? So whenever you give a feedback, obviously the gain of that circuit reduces. So we also here found out by what factor it is reducing. So this reduces by a factor equal to 1 plus A beta. Okay. So this term here, 1 plus A beta, let me choose a different color. This term here, which is 1 plus A beta, okay, so this is called as degeneration factor. This is called as degeneration factor because it degenerates the gain, as in it decreases the gain, right? So that's why it's called a degeneration factor. This is also called a desensitivity factor. Okay. And beta here is called as feedback factor. Okay. So now we saw that the gain decreased, but we didn't want the gain to decrease, but still it's okay. There are many other good things of this negative feedback, right? Can you name a few? What are the advantages of the negative feedback? You should have studied this. Can you recall? Can you recall? Can you recall the advantages of the negative feedback?
Stability.
Huh. So basically, it will make the circuit more stable, right? We'll see that in the next examples. We'll see that. How will the circuit become more stable? And we'll see that with examples. Okay, so basically the gain will be less sensitive to the variations of the values of the circuit components. So it's something like this. You remember, we had a source degeneration circuit wherein like when we discussed MOSFETs, we have a common source amplifier. Along with that, we added a degeneration resistance, which basically decreases the gain, but then it maintains stability. As in, so with degeneration resistance, we saw that the gain does not depend on the circuit components, right? So therefore, the gain will be less sensitive to variations in the values of the circuit components due to maybe change in temperature or external factors. Okay, second one is it will reduce non-linear distortion. So it will make the output proportional to the input, as in it will almost try to keep the gain constant independent of the signal level. So sometimes what happens, so these amplifiers, it leads to nonlinear distortion. So we'll not go into details of it. So most of the times the gain of the amplifiers, they depend upon what is the signal level. Okay, so this feedback, it reduces nonlinear distortion by making the output proportional to the input gain times for any input signal. Okay, so then it will also reduce the effect of noise. So any noise due to the external components. Okay, and then it will also control the input and output impedances. So what do you mean by control the input and output impedance? So basically in an voltage amplifier, we want the input impedance to be as high as possible and the output impedance to be as low as possible. So adding a feedback to an voltage amplifier further increases the input impedance and further decreases the output impedance. Similarly, in a current amplifier where the input is current and output is also current, We want the input impedance to be as less as possible and output impedance to be as high as possible, right? So in case of a current amplifier, when you add a negative feedback, it further decreases the input impedance and it further increases the output impedance. So based on the type of the amplifier that you're using, you can actually enhance both the input and output impedances. And also it will improve the bandwidth of the amplifier. Adding a feedback will improve the bandwidth of the amplifier. So these are the few advantages, okay, of negative feedback. So you don't have to copy down the problem since I'll share all these slides with you. Okay, solve it. Solve it in your books. So you are given with the open loop gain of an op-amp. So to an op-amp of gain equal to 10 exponential 5, you are giving a negative feedback with beta 0.01. You have to calculate the closed loop gain of the amplifier. You can write AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta. So this will be 10 power 5 divided by 1 plus 10 power 3. Well, that's almost equal to 99.9, or I can say 40 dB. Okay. So now you'll have to calculate the closed loop gain when the open loop gain is varied by 50%. So that is, your open loop gain was 10 power 5. So if this becomes 50% more, okay, so if this is A, then what is AF? Okay, if you decrease this gain by 50%, if this is A, so then what will be AF? This is what you have to find. Okay, so how much is this? 99.93, is it? And this is 99.8. Is this right? I mean, I want all of you to solve this. Okay. So now what do you infer from this? So even when you change your open loop gain by 50%, look at the amount by which the closed loop gain is changing. Very, very small amount, right? So it's around 0.1. So here it's 99.9 and here you have 99.8. So the gain is changing by around 0.1 when you change the open loop gain by 50%, right? Which is a very, very small value. And this says that the closed loop amplifiers, they are more stable. As in, even though there is variation of the values of the circuit elements due to external parameters or due to temperature, so the gain or any other parameters of the amplifier hardly change. That's what we mean by telling that the closed loop amplifiers are more stable. And this is a good example. This is a good example to say that, you know, the closed loop gain is more stable, because even though you're changing the open loop gain by around 50%, the closed loop gain is hardly changing. This is clear, right? So now let's try to recall some circuits. Okay. So what's this? What's this? Do you remember? What's the circuit?
Common source amplifier.
Okay, so this is a common source amplifier, right? Okay, good, you remember. So let me call this as RD. Let me call this as RS. Okay, what's this?
Common source with degeneration.
Okay, common source with degeneration resistance. So do you think this circuit has a feedback? Common source with degeneration resistance. That is the name of this, right? So this is a simple common source. This is common source with degeneration resistance, right? Do you think that the circuit has a feedback, or can you call it open loop? Okay, let me put it this way. So we know that the gain of this is, the magnitude of the gain is GMRD, right? So the magnitude of the gain of this amplifier is GMRD. So what is the magnitude of the gain of this amplifier? Approximately equal to RD by RS, right? So as you can see in the first case, the gain is dependent on the circuit parameters, right? Which is GM. GM in turn is dependent on W by L of this, overdrive voltage of this, threshold voltage of this, and so on. But now look at the gain of this. So it only depends on RD and RS, and this does not depend on any parameters of the MOSFET. Correct? So do you think this has a feedback? So do you think this is more stable? What do you think? Okay, see, I want you to think about this and then come back to the next class. We'll discuss. Okay, we'll discuss this in the next class. I think you'll need some more time to analyze the circuit. So therefore, I'll give you time. But by the time you come back to the next class, you please think about this and come. Okay, I want you to tell me if the circuit has any kind of a feedback. If no, then it's okay. I mean, if you say no, then I'll not have any questions. If you say yes, then I will want you to tell me what kind of a feedback this has and how is it making the circuit stable. Okay, we'll move on. Okay, so now, just a minute. Okay, so we'll prove that the stability of the closed loop amplifier increases by a factor 1 plus A beta with respect to A. Okay, so we'll prove that the stability of a closed loop amplifier or closed loop gain okay, so we know that AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta, right? So now let us see how much does AF change for a small change in A. Okay, now we'll find out how much does AF change for a small change in A. That is, we'll find out DAF by DA. Can you find this out? Can you please differentiate it for me? This is of the form X by Y, right? Can you please differentiate it and tell me what do you get? Can one of you please tell me what do you get? So if I differentiate it, then it will be 1 by 1 plus A beta square into 1 plus A beta times 1 minus A beta, right? So this will be equal to 1 by 1 plus A beta square. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. So now I can write DAF is equal to DA by 1 plus A beta the whole square. So now let me divide both RHS and LHS by AF. So I can write DAF by AF is equal to DA. AF again I can expand here as A by 1 plus A beta, right? So A by 1 plus A beta into 1 plus A beta square. So this gets cancelled. So I can write DAF by AF is equal to DA by A divided by 1 plus A beta. Correct? So what does this say basically? From AF, okay, what is the change? The change is DAF with respect to AF. That is, the change of the closed loop gain is DAF with respect to AF. And the change in the open loop gain is DA with respect to A. So this says that if DA by A, if this changes by some factor X, then the change in the closed loop gain is X by 1 plus A beta, right? Which is very, very small. If DA by A changes, if this changes by a factor X, that is if the open loop gain is A and it changes to DA and this is X, if this is X, then the change in the closed loop gain is reduced by a factor equal to 1 plus A beta. So most of the times when you compare the parameters of the open loop amplifier with that of the closed loop amplifier, all these parameters, they get enhanced, as in the stability is increased by 1 plus A beta. The gain decreases by 1 plus A beta. So most of this happens by a factor 1 plus A beta. Clear? So this factor 1 plus A beta is also called as the amount of feedback. Since the change in the gain is less of the closed loop amplifier with respect to the open loop amplifier, we say that the stability increases. By what factor does the stability increase? By a factor equal to 1 plus A beta. Is this clear? Can you make a note of this?
Ma'am,
Yes?
this step what you did, can you repeat it again, ma'am?
Which
DAF by AF.
So I divided both LHS and RHS by AF.
Okay, okay, oh, okay, okay, ma'am.
Okay. So, okay, this is with respect to the bandwidth. This will take some time. So we'll do it in the next class. We just have only 10 to 12 minutes left. So we'll do this in the next class. So we'll solve this problem now. Okay. So read the problem and try to solve it. So an voltage amplifier needs 50 millivolts input to give a certain output. So you have an voltage amplifier. So you have an voltage amplifier. Let's say this has a gain A. So if you give a 50 millivolts input, this will give an output of some say V0. Okay, we don't know how much is that. When negative feedback is provided to this amplifier, it needs 2.5 volts to deliver the same output. So now for the same amplifier, when you give a negative feedback, so this is V naught. Let's call this beta. So this will be VF, this will be VS, this will be VI. Okay. So if you give an input now here equal to 2.5 volts, then you will get the same output as that of this. Okay. So therefore I can write, here I can write V naught is equal to 50 millivolt or 50 milli into A. Here I can write 2.5 times AF, where AF is A by 1 plus A beta, right? So we defined AF in the previous slide as V naught by Vs. So we defined A to be equal to V naught by Vi. Correct? If the closed loop gain of the amplifier is 38 dB, find the open loop gain. So now, since the question says these outputs are equal, so I can write A times 50 milli is equal to AF times 2.5. That's what the question says, no? So an voltage amplifier for an input 50 millivolts, it will give a certain output. So when you give a negative feedback and make the input of the amplifier 2.5 volts, then also it will deliver the same output. So now the closed loop amplifier gain is given as 38 dB, right? Here AF is equal to 38 dB. Can you directly substitute 38 here and solve for A? Will that work? No. Why? Because this is in dB and these voltages are in volts, right? So you should convert this AF to volt per volt and then only substitute. Right? You should convert this to volt per volt and then only substitute. So how much do you get AF equal to now in terms of volt per volt? How do you convert dB to volt per volt? So how do you convert dB to volt per volt? So the gain in dB is equal to 20 log of gain in volt per volt, right? So now you can say 38 is equal to 20 log of what? You have to find out AF, right? So now you will end up getting AF is equal to around 80. Is this clear? Okay, so now you have got AF. You substitute for AF here as 80. And then can you tell me what is A equal to? So A is equal to 4000. So this will be the open loop gain. Right? Are all of you following? Or all of you following? Okay. So now once you get A, you can find beta, no? You can find beta. You can write that as, how will you find beta? AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta. So now you know A, you know AF. So from this, find out what is beta. So feedback factor is nothing but beta. Feedback factor is nothing but beta, right? Calculate beta. So what's the value of beta? Okay, so it's 0.012. Okay, or you can even write this as 1.2%. You can represent this in terms of percentage, and then you can write that as 1.25% or 1.23, whatever you've got. Okay, for me it's 5. Okay. So now find the amount of feedback. So what is the amount of feedback? This corresponds to 1 plus A beta, right? So now amount of feedback is 1 plus A beta. So that's nothing but 50. You can also represent this in terms of dB. 20 log of that, right? So you can also represent that in terms of dB.